Hi, Megan here, the Heartened Homeschool Mama, and I'm here today with another curriculum review for you. No one is paying me to say this. I just absolutely love this resource, and after a decade of homeschooling and looking for so many different resources, specifically language arts curriculums, I have to share this one with you. So today I want to talk to you about cover story. First of all, why did we need this? What even brought me to this curriculum? Well, I have 5 kids. The oldest is dyslexic, and my first 3 are very close in age. So at the time we started this, I had a 6th, 7th, and 8th grader, all middle school age. And we had struggled for years with writing curriculums. We had never really found anything that we absolutely loved and enjoyed. My son, because he's dyslexic, had been doing a lot of laborious phonics-focused programs, which great programs all about reading, blast off to reading, love them, but they had just been laborious and he hadn't gotten into enjoying writing. And so in this season, especially as he was 13, I just wanted to find a writing curriculum that we could all jump into, enjoy the process, learn to enjoy the process of writing and creating. And yet I needed something that was incredibly structured, thorough, because we had been skipping writing often in those days where just, we couldn't get to everything. It was the subject, okay, let's just skip it today, that none of us seemed to enjoy. So I needed something where there was buy-in. And when I came to Cover Story and realized the goal was to create a magazine this year and to create something through the process, through the whole year of learning and creating different pieces, it provided that motivational aspect. What is Cover Story? Well, it is created by Daniel Schwabauer. He is an author. He writes science fiction. He created the one-year novel, which I believe is actually where it all started. So he created for high schoolers, which we'll be doing this when we get to that level, but he created a curriculum where through the course of a year, you actually produce a novel. And it was so well received that then there was a request for something for middle schoolers. So that's when he created Cover Story. And what we did was we created a magazine. So every assignment is teaching them, and it's going to lead to a piece that will then go into their magazine. They get to choose their own topic. So all throughout the year, we're working on something that they can produce and be proud of in the end. My kids picked magazine topics from snakes, dogs, and then one picked cute and cuddly animals. So everything that they were able to produce, from poetry, short stories, interviews, ads, all of the things that you might expect to find in a language arts curriculum, were worked into their magazine. So on the daily, what a lesson looked like. There was always a clear goal with every week. So we might be working for a week or 2 on poetry. And so we'll go into our lesson online. We'll find our week, we'll find our lesson number, and we'll watch that video. My kids loved how theatrical and entertaining these lessons were. Mr. Schwabauer is very easy to listen to. So let me just give you a little taste here.
My name is Daniel Schwabauer. I live in a world of danger, excitement, and adventure. My whole life is a story, because story is my job. Hold on. No, the royalty check didn't come yet. And the best part of my job? Sharing it with you.
All right, so in a similar fashion, that is how almost every day started. He would pull in the element of story. He's a storyteller, he's an author, and you can see that in his curriculum. So he would draw you in, he would teach you an element about how do you enjoy good stories, reading, writing, creativity, and then he would teach you an element of that. And so within your teacher's guide, you would know exactly what we're working on, what's the theme, what's the topic. So week 1, for example, we're gonna jump in there. There's 3 videos. He's gonna tell you what is the creative piece that you're working on, which of course, week 1, there was not one. There was not a piece for the magazine that we were yet working on. The goals for the week, how to grade, very clear grading rubrics. And then he would walk you through that lesson. And if it was a week where you were creating a piece for your magazine, you might have letters to the editor, and you're going to talk in your video about how you write a good letter, what you might say. They can be silly, they can be serious, they can be critiques. And so he would have fun with that. You might be creating a short story, a poem, but he's going to teach a little bit about it. He's going to inspire you on what you want to produce within your magazine. And then after you watch your lesson, you're going to go to your student workbook, and he's going to have some questions about that, some teaching elements. So he's going to teach you various things. You're going to write in your workbook about what you might be learning. So he's not just going to set you loose, let's say on poetry, but he's going to teach you, and then he's going to send you to your workbook. He's going to further make you analyze pieces, ask you questions, give you lead-in and ideas for what poems you might want to produce in your magazine. He's going to have you write down some options. Okay, how do you analyze if that's a good option? So just very detailed critiquing of good writing and what it looks like. And then throughout the week, he'll give you a clear deadline on, okay, you have to have 3 poems by this date, or 1 poem, or whatever it might be. So every day you're watching a video, you're working in your journal, and then you might be slowly working on a piece for that week that would then go in your magazine. So throughout the year, we're slowly gathering a compilation of pieces that we would then produce. All right. Additionally, his storytelling method of designing this curriculum is seen in daily journaling. So this is a journal, but it's designed, I've never seen anything like it, very uniquely, in that it starts off with a little bit of a story. And so he's going to tell you a piece of a story, and then he basically invites you to co-author this book with him. And daily you're either answering questions, making observations. There was a lot of, go outside and look around and observe things. He might have you do dialogue back and forth. So there was always a different set of directions on how you were to be contributing to this journal. But every week there would be a part that you read, and then you journaled for 5 days. And then you read some more and journaled for 5 days. So in the process of journaling all throughout the entire year, you're actually helping complete a novel, is kind of the idea with this. So this was a really creative element too. So a little more about the videos. He gives you the video runtimes in your teacher's guide, so you always know how long to plan for. Most of them are between 7 and 15 minutes, so you can quickly do your video lesson, then go into your written work. So just a little bit more about them. I've said they're very theatrical, they're very engaging for the kids. I would enjoy watching them. Even my littles who weren't doing this program would enjoy watching the videos. So we would cast them up to our TV. Since I had 3 students doing it, you could easily watch this on a computer, an iPad. Overall, about Cover Story, let me tell you that number 1, it was motivational. We had a clear end goal. It was enjoyable. We all enjoyed it. It was entertaining. It was cheesy enough to pull in my kids. He talks about how, oh, grammar's so awful, but what's the point of it? I mean, he's a great teacher. So everything online was quality material. It was very structured and user-friendly. The teacher's guide is incredibly thorough. I always knew what we were working on, what my kids were supposed to do, what piece we might be expected to produce, and when. It was incredibly thorough. So this is both a pro and a con, and actually my only con is that if you are in a season where you just need quick, maybe you aren't like me and you didn't want a really complete program, then this wouldn't be the one for you. But if you want your money's worth and you are ready to dive in deep to language arts and writing, like I was, then this is the program for you. I absolutely felt like I got a full, meaty language arts year, going from our weakest subject to absolutely being our strongest subject. We would spend at least an hour a day on it. Not all of that at all was needed by me. So for my kids, watching the video, doing their written work, often working on their pieces that had deadlines, it was a meaty curriculum. And I want to talk specifically about my son, because I said that my son was dyslexic and is dyslexic. And what we needed was something that would draw him in. So we had the video element, not heavy reading, and yet there was reading and writing within this workbook. And then, of course, the pieces that he was producing, but they were enjoyable. So he absolutely loves snakes, and he chose to do his magazine on that. And so I saw this joy and this creativity come out of him that you don't see, drilling phonics year after year in dyslexic specific programs. And so it was the first time that I think he really got out of that phonics-based only thinking and enjoyed the process of writing. And so we pulled out all the helps. We would use voice-to-text apps. There were some times that I would sit and I would say, okay, just let your thoughts flow with your short story and I'll write for you a little bit and I'll type for you. We did use a typing program as well. So his typing improved. Everything improved for him as well. So I just want to say, though it's not a dyslexic specific program at all, it worked wonderfully for my dyslexic son. It drew him in. It was what we needed. So I just want to say I absolutely love Cover Story. If you are wanting a thorough, meaty curriculum, then I would highly recommend it for you and your middle schoolers. Drop any questions in the comments. I'd love to answer them. Happy homeschooling. Thanks for watching. You can follow me, the Heartened Homeschool Mama, on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest for more ideas, reviews, and encouragement. Also, head on over to WordPress to find Bowen blogs for more.